So welcome to this video on lists. If you know who I am, you know what we've already done, so let's get right into it to help the people who are really struggling. Right, so programming, you have to set variables, so that this is no different. So this is going to be our variable to hold our list. To set a blank list, you just put blank brackets like that. This will make it so that we can add things to it later, but right now, that's how you do it. Right, next bit, we need to put some things into this list, and we are going to have fruits because we all know what the fruits are. I'm going to have apple, pear and orange. So that's how you fill a list with items. This list has 3 items, and if I wanted to print out a very specific item from the list, I would have to index each of these elements. Indexing in programming starts at 0. So apple would be item 0, this would be item 1, and this would be item 2. But there are 3 items in the list, even though that's item 2. It's not really, if you think about it, because 0 is a value, 1 is a value, and 2 is a value, giving us 3 different numbers. So if I go my list, and I want to print out orange, I go my list, open the brackets, and then that'll be 0, 1, 2. Simple as that. To see it, we need to print this my list 2 to the screen, press F5, and there we go, we've got our orange. Right, the next thing we need to know about lists is how do we print the whole list if we want to just show what's in the list. Well, you just get rid of that and you run it, and there we go, we've got apple, pear and orange. Every time I run this program, it recreates this list. Like, it always starts from the top, goes to that, and then it comes out of it. That's why nothing happens after that. Right, the next thing we need to do is I need to show you some methods. There are 4 methods I want us all to be able to use, and I'm going to put it on a hashtag line so that it doesn't run. We've got pop, we've got insert, we've got remove, and we have append. These are the list methods you should be using in GCSE and for your controlled assessment. So let's go through them all one by one on exactly what they do and why they're useful. So I've got my list made up. I don't want to keep printing it well, maybe we do, because then you can see it working. So if I just get that back, I'm going to go my list dot pop and then just invoke that and then print my list. And what you'll see right now is I printed my whole list, I did the pop, and the last item in the list has been removed. So that's how pop works. It removes the last item in the list. You can also, if you want, remove a specific index. So if I wanted to move apple, I put 0, run it, and you can see now it's removed apple from the list instead of orange like it did before. And so that's pop. The next one I want to use is insert. Insert can add something to the list. We've only got 3 items in a list. We need to add more because there's more fruits than 3. I'm going to insert it into position 0, which is the very first item. It'll insert it there. What do I want to insert? I want to insert a grape because greatest fruit ever. So, in my opinion. And then you print it, and then there you go, we've inserted grape into position 0. If I wanted to insert it into position 2, just change that to 2, and look, apple, pear, grape, orange. That's how insert works. I might want to remove an item from the list because I don't want apples in my list. So remove works like this. You type in something which you think's in the list, which you want to get rid of. We know that that is in the list. We do it, we press F5, and there you go. It's a little bit different to pop because with pop you used indexes or it got rid of the last item in the list. This one is going to remove something which is already in the list. So there you go. The last thing, which I think is the most important, is append. Now I'm going to append apple to my list. Now, I know it's already there, but look, what it does append is it appends it to the very last item in the list. So I can change that to anything I want. Let's change it back to grape because we don't have grape in our original list. And there we go. apple, pear, orange, and it adds it to the very end. You would use insert to add it at a different position, append to add it to the very end. Usually you use this because when you're doing controlled assessments, you want to add something to the end of something. You wouldn't want to mess around adding it in between things. You really wouldn't. Well, not usually anyway. Right, so now that we've got the methods out the way, the next thing we need to do is show you how to use lists properly. And the best way to do this is to invoke what we call a 2D list. So if we have our blank list, a 2D list is basically lists inside lists. So as you can see, I've got my Thon is really good because it shows you the start and end braces in a different colour when you click next to it. So if I put my cursor next to these, you can see them lighting up. So a 2D list is lists inside lists. Each item in a list is separated by a comma. So that means we still have, like in our last example, 3 different items. This is item index 0, item 1, item 2. But we've got a list here. I want to add apple, and I'm going to put a comma and then green. And that means we can do something in a minute, or make a quick game where we're going to ask kids what colour are the fruits. So I know we can have red apples, but it's our quiz, I'll do what I want. Then we've got pears, they can be green as well. And then we can have melons because they can be red and green, but let's just see, it's our quiz. Right, so this is a 2D list. If I wanted to print out now, it's a little bit different than before. If I wanted to print out green of this, for example, I would have to go, right, we are the 0, the first element in, so that's 1, but we have to print out the 0 first element of that entire element. So we put in another brackets and we put 1, and then when we press F5 we get green. If I wanted to print out that red, I would have to go, this is item 0, 1, 2. So this is item 2, and red is part of this, which that is item 0. The comma splits the items up, 1. So it will be 2, 1, and that'll print out red, hopefully. How do I print out apple? Well, this is the 0th item, 0, and that is the 0th item of that list, so 0, and then we get apple. So now we can control what we're printing out. So let's make a quick game out of this. So we're going to make a kids game. What colour are the fruits? So first of all, we need to welcome the player and tell them what they're doing. So I'm going to go print, and I'm going to go welcome. What colour is, and at this point we want to pick out a random, we want to pick out a random question from this one, and this one. So if I import random at the top, you need to do that to use what I'm about to do next, and I'm going to create a random number. R&D equals random dot rand range, and I want it to pick a number between 0, 1 and 2, or 3 items, so I can put 3 in there. There's another way of doing this so that it doesn't break if you add more items to the list, but for now I'm just going to do this because I know there's only 3 questions in my quiz. So R&D equals random range 3. So what colour is, and I'm going to now print out one of those items. So I'm going to print my list, and I need to use that random number we've just created, which will either be 0, 1 or 2, because there's 3 numbers in 0, 1 and 2. So I've got to put R&D in there, but I don't want to print the whole thing out like it will do if I run it now. I'll just show you that it does. I don't want it to print out the whole thing. I only want it to print out that. So what I've got to do is brackets 0, because that is the 0th item of every one of those items. So when I run it now, so what colour is per? or you could put, just to make it a little bit better, an apple, a pear, a melon. And then we run it again. What colour is, and you can see the random number generator working, is welcome. What colour is an apple, because it was pear before. Right, so what colour is a pear? Well, if our answer from the user, so ANS, I've not done this yet, you'll see what I'm doing. I'm going to use a variable called answer, is equal to all of this, but we have to look at the second item, or the first index of our list. If the answer is exactly spelt the same way as that, so whatever one we picked, part 1, which is green, green or red, it's going to say correct. Oh, I put that there, which is a shame. When you put your colon, if you enter down, it does the indenting for you. It does a good job, Thonny, I like it. Right, and then if we get it wrong, if we don't have the right answer, else print wrong. Right, so we've not done something yet. I have not made the computer ask for an answer, so I'm just moving the space down here to make it clearer for you guys to see. So ans is going to equal an input from the user, and enter your answer. I'm going to add in there, and this will just prompt the user to enter something. So I normally put a space, colon, and then another space, because when it runs now, it's going to say, welcome, what colour is apple? Enter your answer. It looks like it's being interactive with us. So what colour is a pear? Well, we know what answer we're looking for, so let's put red, because, you know, there's red pears, right? Well, we know they're red. So we run it, and it says wrong, and then the game quits. It just comes out because that's the only thing. But that's a pretty rubbish game. We need to get it repeating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the above where I ask my question, and I'm going to write the word while, and I'm going to put in a keyword true. And what this means is whatever's after this, repeat it forever. So I'm going to indent my whole program. I did that by highlighting all of the code and then pressing the tab key. I believe you can use something. Maybe you can't in this, but in the Python editor, if you've just downloaded Python, you can go up to one of these and just do it using this. You can indent everything, but all I did then was highlight the lot and press the tab key. So now we should have a working game. So here we go. So what colour is a pear? We know the answer is green. Correct. If you want to put a little bit of a, like, boost it out a bit here by putting in \T for tab, \T for tab, 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 tab. If I have all of these, if you put a \, it's like a command the program doesn't write in. It's going to put correct and wrong outside here so we can see what's going on. So what colour is an apple? An apple is, well, we know it can be red and green, so we want to get the right answer, green, and then corrects come out along here. What colour is an apple? It's obviously picked the same number again. I'm going to put red. It's going to say wrong because that's the only answer we can have. So in a quiz like this, you try and make it so that there wasn't two colours. What colour is an apple? Green. It's randomly selecting one every time. What colour is a pear? Green. What colour is an apple? Green. What colour is a melon? Red. And we're getting all of this. We're getting all this printing correct out every single time, except when we typed in a wrong answer. And that is how you build or use lists, 2D lists, and create a quick little quiz game out of it, which you can maybe keep yourself for revision every time you do a lesson and there's a keyword. Make the question so that it's a one-word answer at the end, true or false maybe, and then you can have a self-marking revision guide for you. And well, what better to revise than writing in your own questions and you providing the right answer and then coming back to it a month later. So thanks for listening.